Welcome everyone once again to another week for your Serie A predictions. I hope you had a wonderful last week in terms of results, and this week I hope it continues, and we're going to head straight into it, and we're going to start with our first game, and our first game is Sassuolo versus Inter Milan. Alright, so for this game, in terms of my predictions for this game, Sassuolo versus Inter Milan had a really wonderful result this week against Bayern Munich. They had a win that they haven't had in some time against Bayern. And no, not Bayern. Why did I say Bayern? Barcelona. My humblest apologies, gentle people. The one against Barcelona won 1-0 at San Siro against Barcelona, and chances are they should take this good form into this game against Sassuolo. Sassuolo are usually a good team at home, but they haven't been themselves of late. And so I wouldn't be surprised when it comes on to certain things in this game. Alright, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to take Inter Milan to win this one. Inter to win. In terms of both teams to score, I'm going to say no. I'm going to go to the limb and say no. Alright, so in terms of double chance, I'd say either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-0 here in favor of Inter Milan. If you don't want to bet the score line, and if you want to get a better odds in terms of a straight up win, you can always go and take Inter Milan and the handicap system to win this one by a goal, and you're getting a whopping $2.87 for that. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Sassuolo versus Inter Milan game. I'm expecting Inter Milan to win this one. Both teams to score, I'm saying no. In terms of double chances, either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline 2-0 in favor of Inter Milan, and also on the handicap system, I'll take Inter Milan to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Sassuolo versus Inter Milan game, and we're going to move on to our next game, which is AC Milan versus Juventus. Both teams played in Europe this week. As a matter of fact, they're playing today. Juventus is playing at home. AC Milan is traveling to Chelsea. And so therefore, you might be looking and saying physically this might have more of an impact on AC Milan. But Italy is not too far away from England. It's just across the English Channel. So it may not have much of an impact, come to think of it. Yeah, so let's head straight into the predictions. So this one, AC Milan being at home against Juventus. Juventus, they have been poor. They have been poor so far. They've been poor. But things, at some point, things should start to turn. And as the result, I'm going to go with Juventus to win this one. Juventus to win. Both teams score, I see. Double chance, I say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm going with 2-1 in favor of Juventus. On the handicap system, if you want to go in the handicap system, I'll go with -1 Juventus to win by a goal. And I'm going to take a draw here, alright? Because if this one does end 2-1, then on the handicap system it'll be a draw, yeah? Alright, so recapping predictions for Juventus versus AC Milan. AC Milan being the home team here, I'm expecting Juventus to win. Both teams to score. In terms of double chances, either to win and both to score. Also, in terms of the predicted scoreline, for me, correct scoreline, I say 2-1 in favor of Juventus. On the handicap system, I go with Juventus. And no, not Juventus. The determinant being a Juventus to win by a goal. I'm going with a draw here on the handicap system. Okay then, so those are my predictions for the Juventus versus AC Milan game, and we're going to move on to our next game, which is Bologna versus Sampdoria. Alright, if you want, guys, you can always pause these videos when watching them, and you can look at my predictions so I ensure that you get them down. I might be speaking a little bit quickly for some of you guys liking, but as I say, you can always pause and replay and all of that. Alright, so on to our next game, and our next game is Bologna versus Sampdoria. Bologna versus Sampdoria, we're expecting Bologna to win here. I don't go with Sampdoria. Sampdoria can come in and can surprise you. Bologna to win this one. Both teams to score, I see. Also on the why do I say handicap system? I was talking about the handicap system. Double chance, either team to win and both to score, yes. In terms of predicted scoreline, I am saying here we're going to have a 2-1 victory for Bologna. Also, on the handicap system, I would go here with a +1 for Sampdoria. Sampdoria to lose this game by no more than a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions for Bologna versus Sampdoria. I'm expecting Bologna to win. both teams to score, yes. In terms of a double chances, either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, 2-1 in favor of Bologna, and also in the handicap system, I'll go with Bologna to lose by no more than a goal here, which is +1. Alright, so those are the predictions for the Bologna versus Sampdoria game, and we're going to skedaddle on over to our next game, which is Torino versus Empoli. Alright, Torino versus Empoli here. Torino versus Empoli. Torino being at home. Torino usually plays well at home. They're not an easy team to beat at home, and hence the reason why I'm going to take them to win at home. Alright, so Torino to win, both teams not to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline here, I'm going to take Torino to take this one, 2-0. And the cap system, I'll take Torino to win this one by a goal. Alright, $3.10, that's wonderful. Alright, so predictions for Torino versus Empoli. I'm expecting Torino to win here at home, and also both teams not to score. And in terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both not to score. In terms of a predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-0 in favor of Torino. And on the handicap system, I'm taking Torino to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are the predictions for the Torino versus Empoli game. Now we're going to move right on over to our next game, which is Monza versus Spezia. Alright, Monza versus Spezia. This should be an interesting matchup. Monza versus Spezia, based on the last 4 games, Spezia have won 2 and you have 2 draws. Yeah, in terms of current form, let's just find the current form. Yeah, current form 47%. On the good side, Spezia, they have been undesired results. Yeah, not looking good in terms of previous results. Let's check the standing as well, just showing you folks that we have stats here that you can use. You just don't have to just go in and whoops and pick it back. You can look at the stats, look on what they're saying, look on the form and all of that jazz. Spezia is in 12th, Monza is in 16th. Alright, even though Spezia is having a poor run of form based on the last 5 games, Monza are all the way in 16th while Spezia is in 12th. Yeah, never know. Yeah, so that's the reason why you have to do your research, and hence the reason why I do my research before I come on here and tell you my predictions. I just don't get up and give you predictions like that. Alright, so for this game, a draw, both teams to score, yes. Predicted scoreline for me, 1-1. Handicap system, there isn't really anything on the handicap system. I could go with Monza to lose by no more than a goal here, which is +$1, $1.22. Yeah. So predictions for the Monza versus Spezia game, I'm expecting a draw here. I'm expecting both teams to score. Predicted scoreline predicted scoreline 1-1. I am saying 1-1. Yeah, 1-1. And on the handicap system, I'm going with Monza at +1. All right, so moving on to our next game, which is let's see, always struggle to pronounce this word, Salernitana versus Hellas Verona. Alright, Salernitana versus Hellas Verona. This one should be an interesting matchup. I think this one has the possibility of being a draw as well, but I'm going to stack here. I'm going to say both teams to score. I'm going to go with a double chance of either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, now this is where it gets kind of interesting. I'm really wondering what the scoreline is going to end up to be here. Yeah, I think it should be close. Expecting both teams to score. Yeah. Don't know what that I just spoke. Yeah, that's 2-1. Yeah, 2-1 for me. And on the handicap system, I go with a draw on the handicap system. Salernitana to win by a goal, and if this ends the way it ends, then this is going to be a draw. Alright, so prediction for Salernitana versus Hellas Verona, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-0, 2-1. Sorry, folks, 2-1 in favor of Salernitana. And on the handicap system, -1 be determinant. That is Salernitana to win by a goal, but I'm going for a draw. So we have 2-1 here. Alright, and so those are my predictions for this game. Salernitana versus Verona. Alright, so we're going to move right along into our next game, and our next game is Udinese versus Atalanta. Alright, Atalanta I think is set in second in the Serie A, and so therefore they are playing away from home here against Udinese. Udinese doing very well too. I think Udinese is in the top 6. Let's just check the standings to confirm. Yes, Udinese actually is in third. They are a point behind Atalanta. They both have the same goal difference. They have the same amount of wins. They have just had one loss. Atalanta is yet to lose a game. Udinese is usually not an easy team to beat at home, to be honest with you. So it's not going to be very easy for Atalanta. So this should be an interesting matchup. I think Atalanta plays in Europe this week. If memory serves me correctly, I don't quite remember. I think they might play. If it's not the Europa League, I think they play in the Conference League. So they play in Europe. I'm not certain if they're going to play away or at home. So that might have a bearing on this result. So therefore, I'm going to go with both teams to score. And this one can end in a draw, to be honest with you. It could end in a draw. And I'm going to go with here a 1-1 draw. And in terms of the handicap system, I really don't have a bet for the handicap system, but if I should take one on the handicap system, I would go with Udinese to lose. I would go with Udinese at +1 if I were to take one on the handicap system. I take Udinese at +1. Yeah. So in terms of a double chance, I would say a draw and under 3.5 goals. Alright, so predictions again for the Udinese versus Atalanta game. I'm expecting both teams to score. Predicted scoreline 1-1. In terms of the handicap system, I'll go with Udinese to lose by no more than a goal, which is +1. And also, in terms of a double chance, I like to do double chances. You get better odds with double chance. You get really nice odds with double chance. Yeah. I'm going here with a draw and under 3.5 goals for this game. Alright, so you're getting $4.50 for that double chance. This is not a double. Why did I say double chance? Combination bets. My humblest apologies. It's a combination bet. It's not a double chance. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Udinese versus Atalanta game. Second versus third in the Serie A. Alright, so moving right along into the next game, which is let's see who's next up. Yeah, Cremonese versus Napoli. Napoli had a very convincing win away from home yesterday in the Champions League. Very, very convincing win. I think they beat Ajax 6-1. Another day it could have been 6-0, it could have been 7-0. Yeah, it was a really good win for Napoli. Really, really good win for them. And I expect them to continue their winning ways here in the league. And I take them to win this one against Cremonese. Napoli to win. In terms of, I would say Napoli to win. Well, this is a double chance. Not a double chance, a combination bet. Sorry folks, a combination bet. Either team to win and both not to score. Alright, so predicted scoreline for me, this one, I'm saying 2-0 in favor of Napoli. On the handicap system now, I'm gonna take Napoli to win this one by a goal, which is going to be about $1 something. Let's see, let's find it. Napoli to win by a we're getting $2.15. That's nice. $2.15 for Napoli to win by a goal. And if they should perform anywhere near where they performed against Ajax, then you should easily win this bet. Napoli to win by a goal. So recapping predictions, Napoli versus Cremonese. Napoli visiting Cremonese. Expecting Napoli to win. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline 2-0 in favor of Napoli, not Cremonese. In terms of the handicap system, I'm saying here Napoli to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are the predictions for the Cremonese versus Napoli game, and now we're going to jump straight on over into Roma versus Lecce. Lecce, the pronunciation is I don't speak any of these languages. French, Spanish, Italian, none whatsoever. I don't comprehend any of them. Alright, So back to predictions, and Roma is also playing in Europe this week as well. So we're going to see what bearing this is going to have on this game. Yeah, we're going to see what bearing is going to have in this game. All right. So this game now, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, let's come here. Let's come here. Goals. I'm going to go with goals here because of this. I think this one is going to be less than what some of us expected to. Under 3.5 goals. Alright, that's my first bet on the 3.5 goals for this game. My next bet now is I'm going to give you my scoreline, and my scoreline for this game is Roma to win here 1-0. Yeah, 1-0. Otherwise 2-0. If you want to go on the handicap system, let's just give you a double chance. Well, let's give you a combination bet. I continue to say double chance. Bear with me, folks. It's not double chance, it's a combination bet. In terms of combination bet, you can always go and say either team to win and under 3.5 goals. Alright. In terms of the handicap system, I would go ahead and I would say here Roma to win by a goal. Alright. Roma to win by a goal here. So recapping predictions for Roma versus Lecce game. I'm expecting under 3.5 goals for this game. Predicted scoreline 1-0 in favor of Roma, I do believe. In terms of a combination bet, I almost said double chance. In terms of a combination bet, I am expecting here we're going to say either team to win and under 3.5 goals in total for the game. And on the handicap system, we're going ahead and we're taking Roma to win this one by a goal. So those are the predictions for the Roma versus Lecce game. Roma here playing this week in Europe. Let's see if that's going to impact the results any way, shape or form. And now we're moving on to our final game for this game week, and it is Lazio versus Fiorentina. Lazio, they have been having an awful season so far, but they have had some good results along the way, and so therefore I think they should get a fair enough result here. There again, I do believe, and so I do believe that they can go to Fiorentina. Fiorentina is not usually an easy team to beat at home, but they can go there and they can take this one, even though the things are against them. But I'm going to go with Lazio to win here. Lazio to win. Both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I am saying 2-1 in favor of Lazio. On the handicap system, I would go and I would also take Lazio. Based on my predicted scoreline, we'd have to go here with -1 as a draw. Alright, so the -1 being determined, we're going with a draw here. If Fiorentina should score, alright, that would be a draw. 2-1 result for Lazio would be a draw on the handicap system. The minus Lazio being win by a goal on the handicap system would be a draw. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Lazio versus the Fiorentina game. I'm expecting Lazio to win, expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a combination bet, I'm saying either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Lazio. Yes, surprise, surprise. In terms of the handicap system, -1 being the determinant here in favor of Lazio. I'm going with a draw based on the predicted scoreline I have here. Alright, and so those were my predictions for the Fiorentina versus Lazio game, and this is how the cookie crumbles for this week for this week's Serie A predictions and betting tips. Alright folks, so continue to subscribe to my channel, watch these videos and share it on your social media pages, and let's go viral and let's start winning some more and share the winnings with your friends and your family and everyone across the world. Alright then, thank you very much for your time and have a great weekend. Thanks.